Hello, welcome back to the Boardgames 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we will be going through our top 100 board games of all time. This is going to be number 90 down to 81, and we're going to sort of give you a rough overview of how the game plays in a couple of seconds, and we'll tell you what we do like and maybe what we don't like. So we're going to try and get this list done as quickly as possible, and we'll see you after this. Board Games 4K
90.
So number 90 on this list is a very famous game. It's a very famous tile laying game called Carcassonne, and in this game what you'll be doing, you'll be placing tiles out into the centre of the table, try to match a certain characteristic of the tile to a tile that's already on the board, and then you'll be placing your little meeples onto various sections of the board, and then they will turn into knights, they will turn into farmers, they will turn into monks, and you'll be scoring points when you place them and when you take these meeples off, and also you'll be scoring points at the end of the game for the amount of fields that you control. You can score points by placing your meeples on roads, you can place meeples on monasteries and get points that way, and you can place meeples on cities, and then you can place meeples in fields. And this game has produced a astonishing amount of expansions. It's still played today. We still love this game. We've got the winter edition. We always pull this out near Christmas because it really does ramp up that sort of Christmas vibe, right? And we really like Carcassonne, and that's our number 90.
89.
So number 89 is a horse racing game called Longshot, and in this game you'll be buying these horses to participate in races, and then you'll all be betting on whether or not these horses, which position these horses are going to be coming in. And each one of these horses got a special ability, and there's not really that many wonderful horse racing games out there, but this is one of the best, and it's currently out of print, which is an absolute tragedy because it is a fantastic game. So maybe Z-Man Games or Fantasy Flight or whoever can pick this one up and reprint it, because it is fantastic, and that's our number 89.
88.
So 88 is a game called Masquerade. This is a game by Bruno Feduti, and it's a little bit hard to get your head around when you first play it. Whenever we teach this to new people, they're a bit confused as to how this game works. But basically what you got is you each dealt a courtly personality, and you'll be asked to choose somebody else's card, and then you'll take that card into your hand, and then under the table you will swap the cards over or not at the end of the day. And then people will then have the chance to challenge you as to whether or not you have a certain courtly personality. So each one of these courtly personalities has got a special ability that is triggered at a certain point in the game, and you'll be trying to get a certain amount of coins to win the game. And this is a very small game. There's only a certain number of cards in this, but the accusations that get flung about and the finger pointing and the laughs that come out of this one are unrivaled. There is an expansion for it which is also that really good, and that is Masquerade.
87.
So number 87 on this list is a game called Dungeon Fighter. This is a dexterity game where you've got a big target in the centre of the board, and you've got these different coloured dice, and you'll be trying to lob these dice onto this target to damage a monster that will appear when you traverse this dungeon. There's 4 expansions for this, each based on sort of an element like fire, water, earth, etc. And you can go shopping in this one to get extra goods, but the trick is that a lot of the monsters and a lot of the items will ask you to throw the dice in a certain way. You might have to roll the dice off your wrist, or you might have to hold somebody else's wrist and throw it, or you might have to jump up in the air, spin round, or do it with your eyes shut or whatever. And it's a wonderful dexterity game. It's really chaotic. It is kind of very difficult to actually land the die on the target because you have to bounce the die as you roll it, but still a fantastic game. It's got fantastic artwork, fantastic components, and yeah, that's Dungeon Fighter.
86.
So number 86 on this list is another dexterity game called Via Paletti, and in this game what you got is these cylinders of different sort of shapes, and you'll be placing these cylinders out onto this structure to try and build the structure higher. But as the structure gets higher, it gets more unstable, and the first person to make it crash to the ground is the loser, and everyone else wins. And this game won the Spiel des Jahres in 2002, and a lot of people say it didn't deserve to win it. We still like Via Paletti. The only problem with this one is that it's only up to 4 players. If there was a way to play it with more players, it would turn it into an even better party game, and it would be high on this list. But that is Via Paletti. Fantastic dexterity game.
89.
So number 85 on this list is a game by Vladimir Sushi. It's Pulsar 20 2849 or 2849, one of the two. But this game is, while it looks a bit drab, the artwork isn't that great. It's not very colourful, sort of purples and blues and that sort of thing. It's a very, very short dice placement game that is set in a sort of a sci-fi thing. You'll be taking on these corporations. You'll be doing all sorts of things with these dice. You'll be building technologies. You'll be sending your ships out to gather resources in the universe. And it is a really, really tight, really sort of quality dice placement game that is really doesn't get to the table as much as it should, because there are plenty of other dice placement games that are on this list. But Pulsar 2849 is one of Vladimir Sushi's best games that we've played recently.
81.
So number 84 on this list is a very simple worker placement game called Stone Age. And what you'll be doing in this game, you'll be placing your workers out onto the board, and the amount of workers you place in a specific location will determine how many dice you get to roll. And you add up all the pips. That will allow you to take a certain number of resources, to take a certain number of food. And one of the things in this game is you've got to feed your workers at the end of every round. You've got to make sure that you feed your workers, or you get penalised for that. And this game is illustrated by Michael Menzel. Fantastic artwork, as always, from him. And it's a very simple gateway worker placement game that we still love playing today, and that is Stone Age.
83.
So number 83 on this list is a dexterity game that you should not play with people with long nails, because you will end up getting your hands sliced off. This is Jungle Speed, and what you'll be doing in this game, you've got a totem pole that you would be placing in the centre of the table, and then everyone's given these hands of cards with these symbols on them, basically icons and symbols. But the thing is, you'll be sort of a very quick game of snap. But when you see a match between your symbol and somebody else's symbol, you've got to grab the totem pole. But the thing is, the symbols on the cards are very, very similar, but they're not the same. Not all of them are the same. So if you grab the totem pole when you're not supposed to, you're screwed, right? So, but we love Jungle Speed. There's a there's a video on YouTube of Jungle Speed Extreme, and if you want to have a laugh and see how this game could be taken to an extreme, then go and watch that video. But Jungle Speed is one of the greatest dexterity games ever made.
82.
So number 82 on this list is a dice placement game, another dice placement game called Marco Polo, and it's essentially just rolling dice, placing the dice out onto workers, onto spaces that will allow you to take actions. But the thing that separates this game from most of the other worker placement games, dice worker placement, any game, is that the personalities that you control have got these outlandish and game-breaking special abilities. They're mad. It's a case where you looking at your ability and you're listening to what all the other people's abilities are, and you're saying, oh, why haven't I got that one? And they're saying the same about your one. So all the character abilities in this are completely blow the game wide open. And it was a risk when this was made. I think probably the designer was thinking, oh, I don't know, it's a bit of a risk, but it worked out fantastic. You've got an expansion for this one, and you've just got Marco Polo 2 coming out, which we're probably not going to buy because we do like this one so much.
81.
So number 81 is a racing game that will see you take control of powerboats, and it's called Powerboats. You'll be putting your powerboats on the board, and you'll be placing certain buoys out onto the board, or buoys if you're American, and you'll be rolling these dice, moving your powerboats a certain number of spaces, and trying not to make your powerboat crash, because if you might find that you might go off course and roll too many dice and then fly through the gates that you have to pass through. And it's a game that not many people that we know of have played, but we picked it up on a cheap, and we really, really do like powerboats. And if you do like simple racing games that are over very quickly in the same sort of vein as Formula D, admittedly it doesn't look that great, but it is a tense, exciting, very, very fast-paced racing game that you really should have a look at. So there you go, that's number 90 to 81. We're going to be continuing this series. Please watch the rest of this series as and when we get to it. When we get up to Christmas Day, we'll be revealing our big number one. And so if you're new, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment down below, and if you got this far, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.